How we doing, Leo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, check me out. I'm back. And that's only because you're back. You keep showing up, you're liking, you're subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. We are raising that vibration, Soul Tribe. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of November 6th through the 12th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So, with that being said, let's jump into it. Clenched your space. Oh, you see that transition? I mean, we're just all giddy over here. I don't even know what to do. Yes, I do. I'm going to pull 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corners are going to be some future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to be some perspectives you might be thinking about in relationships to the nature of the problem. And then finally, the bottom right is going to be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you're all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards is so cool, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. But without further ado, higher self, what do we have in store for Leo this week? Let me get your card pulled, and we will get to it. Look at this, Leo. Look at Leo. Are we doing that thing? Okay, hold on. Oh, Leo, come on. You are gonna. I promise you're gonna make sense in a minute. I keep saying that I'm going to stop doing this before all the cards are pulled, but apparently that's not gonna happen. So settle in on that one. Let me get this organized and get myself together, and then we're gonna get into it, Leo, because wowza. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I'm feeling it. So, Leo, for the nature problem this week, have the 6 of disc here. And the cards that came along with it, my man, the Chariot, and the Universe. Look at this big energy here, Leo. Success. We are looking for a win. We are looking to, the 6 of disc is a card of success. It's a card of, you're trying to get that accomplishment. We're trying to get to that. I don't feel like this is like, because, I mean, you got so many wins here, Leo, but I feel like that's the nature of your problem this week. Maybe we're just looking for wins, and I'm honestly getting a feeling too, just kind of popped into my head that maybe we're trying to force the wins. And I only say that you would think that with all these cards popping up here, I'm like, well, that's good, Leo. We're manifesting all this abundance. We're doing all these things, but I am getting a feeling of maybe we're trying to force it, and I'm only getting that with the Chariot here. Normally this is my card of victory, of triumph, of all that good stuff here, but sometimes with the Chariot it can mean success, though sometimes not enduring. So I feel like for some, we're getting at this place, because we were what, like a week or two ago, it was like very similar energy. I know the fortune was involved. It was very, very big energy. We were just getting ready to just go out there, be the emperor. Surprise card was emperor. It was doing the most. And look at you, still doing the most, and I love it. But I do feel like maybe we're doing maybe a little bit too extra. Maybe we're trying to force our wins, and we're not appreciating, because I feel like there's just been maybe the win you've been expecting, just like epic win after epic win, has just been just sort of like, and those are cool too. Did you like that sound effect? Those are good too. I feel like it's those little details that ultimately lead to this big picture here, because that's what the universe is about. The universe is my card of seeing that, getting that big picture, and it's you see with every little line, color, all of this big picture was originally all a bunch of little wins, little victories in here before we got to this whole universe. And I feel like with this popping up too, it's also a card that can be of perseverance, of inertia, of that crystallized thinking. So I feel like for some, maybe we're getting ready to get, because we've only got these small wins, we are really trying to get that really, that just like where everything's just like taken off the ground and just abundant. Abundance. That was an abundance explosion. I'm gonna do a lot of sound effects with you apparently, so again, settle in. But before we move on to some future things, I will say just some final thoughts here before we move on. I am feeling with this energy here that I do feel that victory's on the horizon. And you know what? Maybe it can also be, because think about it this way. Maybe if we've gotten our win, we've been getting these little victories along the way. Maybe it's trying to tap into that. How do I want to put this? Because you're when I think of Leo, Leos represent, where your ruler being the sun. Sometimes in trying to achieve that brilliance, we don't appreciate the lights, how our brilliance has affected everything around us. And I feel like this is kind of, with this energy here, this is kind of saying that, Leo, you are the big win. You are this big win, and you just need to keep doing you, because you are giving off this light that I feel like it's starting to, you're doing exactly what we were talking about a couple weeks ago. It's taking that light out and, going out and spreading that. Because I feel like I feel like if you're not aware of it or not, this, having that influence and being represented by the sun, that affects people in a way, and that you shine that light. I'm always talking about finding pockets of sunshine. What better? You are just walking in. Everywhere you walk is sunshine, Leo. And feel that. And know that you're affecting your environment around you, and that is going to be your big win. Your big picture is being painted all around you. You don't have to look that hard. You know what? Let's get over here, because that's exactly what I'm talking about here. With now we're in the future now. We have over here your good friend, the Fortune, the three of Cups, and the Magus card. Because look at you. Look at your friend coming back again. This is what I mean. This is like, I feel like you've really mastered this fortune, because it keeps popping up for you. And now it's one of those things where you're not just, I feel like you're getting in this place where you're not just basking in this fortune by yourself. You're not just like trying to get this abundance just for abundance sake. You really are trying to pour this in your universe here. The universe is speaking strongly to me in this nature of your problem. I really am feeling that you are the source of all this Three of Cups here, this abundance. You're this main cup here, and it's just showering in your world, Leo. I really feel like, and don't take that for granted. Really appreciate that, because that's a gift to be able to, that just your mere presence alone, your influence and all of that it's spreading so much joy and so much abundance and all of this stuff for those around you. And this could be a good time too. I feel like if we've been more so kind of focusing on ourselves, I feel like you're in a good place that we can start. Let's get to that place where we're giving and taking, where where reciprocity is happening, where you're sharing all this light, this warmth, this valor, this confidence that Leo brings, and you're bringing that out of everybody else, and then they're going to pour that back into your world because they love what you're bringing. Just being around you is just infectious and just uplifting. And I really do feel like this is a good time. Maybe I'm really thinking maybe we should start maybe partnering up with some people, but start really just doing some really good manifesting, because this is a card. The Magus is my card of just joyful manifestation here. He's raising the vibration just throughout throughout the universe. That's what the Magus is doing. Yeah, you feel that, Leo? You feel that? Because that's what you're bringing, and that's it. Because you've even got me inspired. And that's something too. I've been mentioning it with all the zodiac signs. I've been noticing as I'm kind of getting in this groove and started feeling things. This is the energy that I pull these cards, sure, but this is the energy that you're all bringing to me each week, and this is what I get to work with. And I'm feeling that there's being a stronger connection every time that I'm doing this. I wanted to thank you all for that, because I do feel like you're starting to trust me with that and know that I see that and that I want to make the most of this energy and want you to know what you're doing right now, Leo, because it is incredible. I am I you're raising the vibration. It's so subtle, Leo. That's the thing too. You're doing it in a subtle way. You skillful magician. I love it. Let's let's go on, because I'm gonna be look what's happening. Do I have anything else to say on this? I'm not even sure. We'll circle back if we need to. Because over here we have the Moon, the Priestess, and the Princess of Wands. Love it, girl. What are we doing? I swear, not your problem. I was gonna say we're gonna have a relationship like because the Empress and I, it's Taurus got it. But with this Moon, this is what you got. You got the Moon here, and the Moon is a card of illusions. It's a card of deception, of bewilderment. It's also a card too of like voluntary change. But really, what I'm feeling with this is too. I feel like this with the Moon popping up. It's maybe for some of you, maybe we need a confidence booster. In which if this hasn't helped you so far, I'm about to bring some more, so brace yourself, because Leo, you're raising it. You're absolutely raising it. And I feel like with this, that the vibration is what I mean. And I feel like with this Moon popping up, maybe some of you are getting to this place where you're not feeling your sun like you should. Maybe, and maybe others have been trying to tell you this thing, but, it's one thing for others to tell you, but it's another for us to believe it ourselves. And listen, if you don't feel like I can understand, I have so much Leo in my chart, Leo. It is insane. My rising, my Mercury, my Mars, my Jupiter, and my Mars, my Jupiter. I think that's it. It's like I have so much Leo in my chart, so I absolutely get it. If you're not feeling that confidence, if you're I don't know why I'm holding this sideways. If you're not feeling that, stop saying sideways, Leo. Stand up strong, stand up tall, stand up. That's why I'm holding sideways. Thank you, Moon. Stand up strong, stand up proud, because it is an illusion that you're telling yourself. Then it's only going to resonate for some. But if our confidence hasn't been feeling as it should, being like where you're at that sun level of confidence, no. And you know what? Let me say too, let me be careful with that, because one thing I'm not trying to get it into the place where we're feeling egotistical, where we're like, well, Justin said I am the baddest, get out my way, make way for the sun. No, that's not what we're trying to do, Leo. I just want you to feel the confidence that you have here. I want you to know that just like how the sun is, it's closest to us in the summer, I think. Closest in the summer, farthest in the winter. I'm not a meteorologist. You probably know how the sun works. It's fine. But just how the sun shifts around and changes phases and, has to go through its cycle, this is where I'm getting at with that. The Priestess. This is, help me, girl. The Priestess is about, being able to deal with that fluctuation and change, to call upon her intuition. Because I feel like for some, if our feelings of confidence have been waxing and waning, the Priestess, that's her jam there. She's all about working in that space and being able to, no matter what's coming in at her, because you don't, okay, we're getting a little more mindful later. But as far as like future stuff goes, we're not, I feel like we're not in a bad place necessarily mentally where, that I feel, what I'm really feeling with this is if we're having, because this, I'm really feeling like with this confidence thing, just to trust that you don't have to try so hard to bring it, is what I'm kind of is what I think I'm trying to get at with this with the Priestess here. It's one of those things where just trust your intuition there. Know that this low self-esteem, this lack of confidence, these are just things that we're telling ourselves. You're the sun, and you just gotta work. You gotta work with that energy, being able to manifest, and that's some big energy to work with, Leo. So I can imagine when you're feeling on top of the world, man, we're just shining. I need shades to look at you. But when we're feeling low, then it's just like, then we're, it's just one of the perks. That's your trade. What's the word I'm looking for? Princess of Wands. Those are the words I'm looking for. Ultimately, what I'm getting at, I don't know why I'm struggling so hard, because the cards will tell you right here. Princess of Wands is pretty much saying what I'm trying to spit out. Even when you're feeling those days of just that fluctuation, we're not feeling we're not feeling at our hottest. She's still rising up, because the Princess of Wands is audacious. She's tenacious. She shows up and shows out every time. Our relationship has evolved so much over the years. It is insane. Oh yeah. Just girl, we've known each other so long. But it's evolved over this time, and that's where I feel like it's going to be for you too. It's just remembering to show up and show out, and just show up first, because that's half the battle. Just getting up and being it, and then turning that on, and then you'll get to a place where it doesn't feel like you'll have to force it. Just like how I was trying to force that here. Look at what happened when we trusted our intuition and we let it happen naturally, Leo. We got to the future that we needed to. Look at that, lovely. Thank you. That deserves a little round of applause there. Good work, team. Okay, now, with where your head's at. Oh, hold on. 1 second. Okay, where your head's at. Got the Prince of Swords here, the Knight of Disc, and the Ten of Wands. Now, let's see. How do I want to go about this? I want to talk about these two first before I get into him. And that's just because, let's really start with this one here. And I know we don't, yikes. This is one of my hot cards. This is my hottest card. The Ten of Wands, we're getting into this place. This is kind of like fire in its most destructive aspect. And when I say destructive, it's just like you get into this place where, and this makes sense, if you got sun energy, if we don't know how to channel that, if it gets bottled up, we're not sure where that's going to go. It's going to come across. I feel like it's this vibration, because this is something too. Just honestly having discovered, even like a part of like getting into like my Leo placements, and this won't resonate with everyone, but I feel like when that energy doesn't have anywhere to go, or it gets in that frustrated state, there's this heat in a way that's just like it's not. I don't even. It's a lot. It affects your vibration in a way that is just like. See, I told you, you're getting all the sound effects. I hope that makes sense, because that's what the Ten of Wands is about. I feel like if we haven't been not sure how to show up, our confidence has been waning, and we're just like, But the sun doesn't. You can't. The sun doesn't. There we go. The sun rises each day, knowing that it doesn't expect people to tell it how brilliant it is. The sun just knows that. And I feel like with this popping up, we just need to remember that. Remember how great you are, and just to kind of get out of our way here, because you got all this energy here waiting to get unlocked, but you got these two bars here that's blocking it. And I feel like this is us getting in our way here. We're Prince of Swordsing right now. Because the Prince of Swords, and this could be too, maybe we were just not sure where to channel this energy, because the Prince of Swords, he's the type that, he's the airy part of air. And I feel like he's trying to come across as like he wants to let all these other fairies know that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's got everything under control, but in reality, he has no idea where he wants to go. The energy is just it doesn't have any sort of direction. And so when he's telling these fairies to go, they're just like, bye, because you didn't tell us where to go. You're just like, energy, release, and that it's just going to do just that, release. I feel like we need to get to this place where we're really getting into our Knight of Disc energy. And I've not read him kind of like this, but I really feel like there's this confidence here. We need to get back kind of grounded in our confidence, and remember that remember the greatness that you are. Remember that you have that sun, because even look at his shield here. His shield is beaming. He's not looking for validation about how great what great work that he's done. He knows what great work he's done. And he's not being, this is honestly, this is perfect. And this is, oh yeah, that's perfect, Knight of Disc. And this is a thing too. Depending on the directions that the knights are facing, it can either be the coming of energy for you, you know, this realization, and then you utilizing this energy, or you have come to this realization and you're going out to use it. You know, but I feel like this, with him coming in here, confidence. Because look at him, everything, he's standing up straight, getting that shield. I mean, just everything about him is just like, this is where I was talking about finding that balance too in your brilliance, Leo. Not letting that get to his head. He's proud, absolutely proud of everything he's done, and as he should be. But he's not rubbing. He's not just like, haha, look what I have. Don't you wish you had all this? No, it's open for everybody to come bask in it whenever you want. Lovely. That's lovely, Knight of Disc. Thank you for that. Now let's get to messages from your higher self, because you got the 10 of Disc here, the Tower, and the 5 of Disc. Now let's talk about these disc here. We're going to talk about these discs. Let's talk about these disc here, because I feel like with this disc, your higher self, I feel like, wants you to know about know that there is wealth coming. You know that your abundance, whether it's, you know, if we want more resources, you know, however, because disc can deal with money. But I like to say sometimes with these cards, just whatever abundance is looking like for you in that moment. No, I feel like your higher self is letting you know that there is abundance coming. But when we're in this state of, when we're worried about, am I good enough? Is this going to be the right decision? You know, these are valid concerns, but not to let them get in the way of your abundance. You know, to see them. This 5 of Disc here is not to bring you down. This is type, he's not here, but normally, I mean, this is him at, you know, at his highest level. But the Prince of Disc, you know, this is my card of, he's normally my card of, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I feel like with these anxieties here, it's okay to plan for some things, to anticipate stuff, but don't let that paint your future. Because the thing is, if you're painting your future with all this worry and anxiety and whatnot, then that's exactly what's going to happen. But if you're just remembering that you're, you know, keeping your abundance, making sure that we're prepared for if things, you know, go sideways, but, you know, preparing for that abundance, you're going to be able to get to this Tower moment a lot smoother than, you won't get caught up in all the fire and the chaos in all of this. Because at a glance, this looks madness, absolutely insane what's going on. And it could, you know what, when we're in it, it could absolutely feel like that, Leo. And I'm not even trying to diminish this moment here. But I really feel like with your higher self, I'm getting really emphasis on this 10 of Disc here. And I feel like in order to get to that, you're going to need that clarity. You're going to need to see that this is stuff here. You, if anything, you know what this Tower moment needs right now? It could use some sun. It could absolutely use the sun to shine some light, to illuminate this. Whom better to bring the illusions, to bring some kind of direction? Whom better to start manifesting, to do? Because man, that's what. Hold on, Leo. We can go ahead and switch back over, because that's awesome. I really like that. Yeah, go and bring that sunshine. That's exactly what our Tower moments need, is just you to uplift everyone, because that's your, I feel like the gift that Leo has is I mean, everyone's gift is unique, but I feel like everyone usually kind of, and I'm generalizing, but, you know, I feel like the descriptor of Leo is just, you know, that pride, that courage, that charisma, whatnot. But really, you are the sun. You are, and wherever the sun is feeling, everyone is going to feel that, because your presence just naturally radiates. You know, you're going to give off, when you're in your element and really feeling yourself, Leo, you know what I'm talking about. That, you know, when your head's held high, when you're really feeling yourself, oh yeah, that energy is just radiating. And that's what I want you to be mindful of this week, to remember that you are affecting your environment. And that if you've been feeling low, you haven't been feeling this confidence, you haven't been getting the win that you want to, you're winning all the time. Because you are, I know, and stay with me, You're winning all the time because you are raising the vibrations of everyone. Because you're focusing here, this you're doing more than I think you even realize. So just keep that in mind, that you have really big energy to give, and that your influence is appreciated, and that you are great. But we just have to, where'd you go, girl? Oh, never far away. We just got to remember to get up, show up, show out. And whatever that looks like for you, you don't got to bring, because this is a lot of pressure too. I can see where it's just like, well, Justin, you tell me there's all this success. Don't let that pressure you. It's going to come. It's already around you. It's inside of you, that sun. It's already there, Leo. So just keep that in mind. And I really feel like everything's going to be gravy. We're gonna be right back to where we were, what, a couple weeks ago, where we were just like fortune, emperor, just all that, because you're the sun. Absolutely. I hope that resonated with you. I hope that made sense. At some point I feel like I got off the rails there, but I hope that made sense. I want that to resonate. I really want that to resonate with all of you. Absolutely. But if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, do that liking, that sharing, tell all your friends, and just to get a better place in you. Because you see, I mean, I'm not kidding. It's just like, it's so much Leo in my chart. Check your moon, check your rising, and this week we're checking our north node. What is that, Justin? I'll tell you, because it popped up in Celestial News Weekly. So, I've been letting all the signs know. I'm still bringing that still bringing that Leo energy. We're tapping into that sun for the celestial news, but I'm running out of hand signs. I feel like eventually I'm gonna start doing like the YMCA. So we're keeping the energy, but yeah, it may not be so much. I don't know why I want a sound effect with you, Leo. I'm just trying to get your confidence up. You get what you understand. Let's talk about the news. Oh, sorry. Let's talk about the news. Because on the 8th, big stuff going on. There is a total full moon lunar eclipse happening. I'm so excited. The moon is my ruler, so I'm so excited. But this is going to be a time, just full moons in general represent that releasing of energy and that manifestation. Oh wait, where'd he go? Look at that. You got the mat. Look at that. We're creating and we're refining our creations. Oh, Leo, come on. This is a good time for you. This is going to be a good time. This is a good time for everybody. But I feel like this is a good time for you too. If we haven't been feeling that wind, let's start manifesting some of that sunshine. Let's start tapping into that solar energy. And maybe, you know what? This just kind of randomly popped in my head. Maybe we need to get a little more sun. It just popped into my head. Take it as it resonates. But maybe we just, if we, to get some inspiration, maybe get back in touch with your ruler. Bask in the sun a little bit. Lie down. However you can get that in, get it. But just like I just threw a curveball at you there because I was very random. That's what the eclipse is gonna do. The eclipses throw curveballs at you. They do just that. So brace yourself. And it might come in kind of fast, but I was saying, set up to plan. Start planning some things. Well, imagine he's the Prince of Disc, because it's more so about while these things are kind of coming at us, make sure that we're like I think I had said that. It's okay to plan for these kind of curveballs, to have them stuff, but know that they're gonna come, and you know what? You're not gonna be bothered because you're dealing with it like a priestess. You're handling those lows, and you're just like, whoop. Yeah, you just dodged that, Leo. Last thing, too, all this is going to be taking place in the 11th house. The full moon is going to be happening in Taurus, so that could be why all this abundance, too. Leo, wouldn't tell you what to do, by the way. This is not me forcing you. This is a safe space. Never would tell you what to do, but I do want you to get the most out of this energy. But with it being in the 11th house, this might bring up things of our goals, our objectives, our friendships, and even like where we kind of fit in groups. So just kind of keep that in mind going in. And let's get into that north node, because the reason I brought up the north node is that it's while all this is happening in that house of Taurus and all of that, the north node's going to be in the not too far from the moon while all this is happening. And the North Node is referred to as the dragon's head, which is sick. But it just like indicates like our goals that we need to accomplish in this lifetime. You know, if there's depending on where it's placed, you might need to pick up just maybe some new skills, some new faculties to navigate through your journey right now. And like I was saying, this is thinking up your goals, your objectives. This could help shine some. I read honestly every time I look into this stuff. Because I read this stuff pretty often. It's always incredible, to kind of feel like what ways can I better myself? What parts of me am I not accessing? This whole channeling this Leo energy that I have, this is very new, in a way that so it's one of those things you learn to play with the energy some. How does that look? Is it like, oh, I have this in my chart and I do this? Like mine is Capricorn, so figuring out how that works for Capricorn. How can I integrate that in my life? That's all I will say on that. Use that energy, use that knowledge to your advantage. Next, I want to talk about since I'm like on the moon this week. We've me and the moon, want to talk about void, of course. Hang with me. And this is usually because the moon travels in each sign every 2.5 days, roughly. And during that transition period from sign to sign, the moon is called void, of course. And this is kind of a time when the moon just sort of wanders in between. What is it doing? We have no idea. I just, I mind my business and my ruler minds its own sometimes. We don't question these things. But this is a good time for just kind of like recharging, quiet introspection, and this is also good. This is also time too, in the periods during this void, of course, they normally don't last longer than a day. The longest one I've noticed so far, Scorpio's was pretty long, transitioning from Scorpio into Sagittarius. But they're usually under 24 hours. But it's usually a time too, as far as like, making plans and things like that. They may not necessarily fall through, but they could possibly happen, or they might be subject to change. It might be hard to kind of pin things down during this time. So just kind of be mindful of that while we're going into that. Oh, it might help to know what days to be mindful. On the 9th is going to be the first one where it transitions from Taurus to Gemini, and that'll be between 6 a.m. and 7:36 a.m. So about an hour, 36 minutes. And then on the 11th is going to be void, of course, from going from Gemini to Cancer. It'll be from 4:28 p.m. till 6:21 p.m. And these are all in Central Time. So, I keep forgetting to mention that. Central Time, and tell all your friends. help me out, Soul Tribe. Let's do some aspects, and then I'll get your surprise card. So, first aspect. The sun. You're going to be conjunct with Mercury. And what does conjunct mean? You're besties. You're going to be best friends. And this is a good time for to shine light on all of your mental processes. This is a good time for negotiations, for meetings, for conversations, for contracts. And one thing I've been thinking about incorporating with the aspects is talking about some crystals. I always talk about my crystal friends here, but let me show you how they assist with the energy. When you're working with this stuff, the sun being conjunct with Mercury, hit your sunstone, get your quartz. That's going to definitely help you through this time. Absolutely. Now, next order of business, the Mercury. Mercury is going to be in opposition with the North Node. Yeah, because that can totally happen. And when this happens, it's a time of like, where you might be full of just really big ideas. You got just some really thinking outside of the box here, but it seems like when you're trying to launch these ideas, it's not quite syncing up with the rest of the world. It's going to feel like your ideas are met with a lot of criticism. Maybe, everyone wants to be a subject matter expert. But it's one of those things. I feel like it's not coming from a harmful place, because most of the time when people are like throwing like, oh well, what if, I feel like it's coming from a loving place. They want to make sure that you've considered all of the curveballs that are going to come at you, especially during this eclipse season. But it's during one of those things. It's just like how I tell you in the beginning. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest with them. And that doesn't need to be, like where it's hurt feelings. Because I know sometimes with criticism, it can come across kind of harsh, you know, because especially if we're getting criticism on something that's really near and dear to us, you know, it's kind of hard, you know, what they're saying and how we might even hear it sometimes, you know, may not come across right. So this is just that time, just to, especially with Mars being retrograde right now, you know, just there's no need to fight. I take what you can work with. See ya. Leave the rest with them, and then you know when we talk again, maybe they'll do something different with it. Okay, last thing, and then last thing. Venus is going to be squared with Saturn. Oh, and if to help you out with that, good old buddy Quartz again. Quartz is so useful. Look at you, just working hard. I don't know what the rest of you are doing. I'm kidding. I love your presence. Last, what I said, Venus squared is squaring Saturn. Um, this is going to be a time where it's bringing up like relationships, as far as like who do we let in, who do we open up to, you know. It's a really good time as far as like maybe either establishing like, yeah, just establishing boundaries, you know. Are we I don't have any good cards for example, but you know, if we have people, let's say maybe they're in a in a not quite high vibratory state, or it could also be you may not be in a high vibratory state. It could be sometimes, it could just be even setting some boundaries as either, hey, I see you're dealing with something, I'm gonna let you be with that, and then when you're ready, I'm here, you know, then where we can do something constructive here. And even on the opposite end, even if you're not feeling very well, setting boundaries, because they don't have to be forever. It's just like, hey, the sun is not feeling so hot right now, and I just need a minute. I just need a second to kind of to deal with this 10 of wands, to get out of my head, to figure out where I'm going to channel this energy so that I can go out and get all this good fortune that I've been told so much about. Totally okay. And you know what, while you're kicking it by yourself and we're meditating, grab some opal and some onyx with you. Definitely help you along with that, Leo. So yeah, I hope that helps you out, Leo. Anything to assist in this journey. Let's get your surprise card, and then I'm gonna get you out of here. Nice. The Aeon card. Look at that. Look at all this clarity in this judgment, man. The Eon card is it's a card of one. It's a card of mainly it's a card of closures. You know, something coming to a close, and I really feel like with this here, this lack of confidence, this kind of low shining sun. Don't worry, I feel like it's not even low shining. It's just been resting, because even the sun needs some time. Even the sun has to set some time. Rest, rejuvenate, so that when it comes back again, we can take some definitive actions. You know, we can get back out there and conquering, because that's what I'm feeling with this Eon card. This is a card of definitive action, and we're gonna go out there and get it, Leo. So stay safe out there. You know, this is a good time for just some really great manifesting. So yeah, stay safe. Keep raising that vibration, and I will catch you on the next one later.